All right, so hello everyone again, and we are in week 13, and we are going to talk about our last lecture, the MongoDB GUI tool that's called Studio 3T. And Studio 3T is a leading tool in the industry, and so programmers use it, deal with MongoDB in a graphical user interface environment. So let's know what is Studio 3T. So Studio 3T.
Studio 3T is the #1 third-party GUI/IDE for developers and data engineers who work with MongoDB. Robo 3T is also another GUI for MongoDB is taking over by Studio 3T.
So Robo 3T, this one is totally open source tool. But if I go in this link, you can see this Robo 3T is now Studio 3T, free. So Studio 3T took over Robo 3T. And Robo 3T is a totally open source tool, but now they took over, Studio 3T took over. And I believe there is some understanding, and now Studio 3T giving some trial version functionality to the user. Although it is showing, if I just turn on this Studio 3T, it is installed in my machine already. Okay, so you can see this Studio 3T environment. And this is the button we are going to start with. So let's go back to the slide. So you will be downloading Studio 3T from here, going to this link, and this link is available in slide number 3. And you will just click here, and it will let you a link to download Studio 3T for Windows. It also has, right there, you can see at the left bottom corner, it's started downloading. And it also has the options for other operating system as well, those you are using other than Windows operating system. Okay, so after an installation, our primary task will be connect Studio 3T to Mongo Atlas. So to do that, you have to go here and click in this connect button. So as soon as you go here, you can see here the new connection. Right. In the new connection, you will click on from URI. And URI, you will paste the link here. So let's go back to my MongoDB. If I go in sign in, because I know you already have a cluster running in MongoDB for you. Just need to log in so that here, next. Here, login. Oh my gosh, it's asking for the verification. So we are logged in our Atlas. And if you click on this connect button, you know how to take this. So you can connect with Compass and you can just copy this link. And you have to go back to the Studio 3T. You can paste this link here and provide your real password to access your Atlas. Okay. As soon as you put that, and you can click OK. By chance, if you miss it, then you have to go in Authentication tab. So if you go here, say you have some problem with this, you can easily edit it. So select this here. And if you go in Authentication, you can fix this thing here. Okay. So if I go, the link I saved previously, you can see here, this is taken automatically, and it's this name, here is the cluster 0 and this thing, and here are the password and username. So you can easily do that. And you have to click on this connect button. As soon as you click it here, whatever you have in your MongoDB, you'll be able to see in this left panel. And you can see in the class, we uploaded some post, and you can see this collection is here. And you can see this collection. Okay. So this is the way you will be connecting your Mongo account with Studio 3T. I hope it is clear now. Let's go back to the slide. I made a little video for you. Let's play it. After installing your Studio 3T, now it is time to start the connection or connect Studio 3T with your MongoDB Atlas. Now Mongo Atlas. Now okay, so I'm stopping at this point because I already showed you in my lecture. This video, I made it so that you can look at it after class or after downloading this slide. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. It's importing data. So this is one of the interesting thing that's you can even import data in your cloud from your MongoDB connection from your browser, and there is an option here. If I go here, if you click here more, you will find load sample data. So you can actually import, but it is not that convenient. Even in the very first day when you connected the terminal, right, with writing your code, you can still do that as well. Okay. The import and export. So let's go back to the Studio 3T. So you can see there is an import button, and we are importing some JSON file, and that JSON file will be saving there. So let's, this is our server link, and we're going to import. Then you can see here a bunch of different type of data or file types you can actually import. JSON, CSV, SQL data, BSON, and BSON, like different kind of BSON, it's a different kind, and another collection. So let's go, let's test with this with JSON. So click here. So we started from import, then JSON, click on configure. Now this is the configuration page came, and you have to add the source of that JSON file, right? And we are already connected, and this is string and this one is same. So let's add source, and let's go in week 13 code customer.json. So I'm selecting this, open, and this is a collection. So let's choose advance and click on this run button. You must correct the following issue before. Some invalid character. So library, I already tested, it should work. Download. Okay. This connection. Let's go run. Invalid character. Okay. So the same way we started from import file, then we add source. So you import this JSON file and run this. It is showing you that you would like to continue. You said yes. And you can see this left corner here, it is importing progress. And finally, it is saying, yeah, one document is important. Total time is whatever second it took to this document. And it should be here in the document download. So this file works. Let's try with another file. I tested with all those files yesterday while preparing my lecture. It should work. So let's remove source because I already added. Let's go here again. Some product.json file and click here. Yeah, now it is working. That's good. Now let's try another, that one we are trying. There is no reason it should not work because I tested few times for this lecture. Go here. Weekly material, week 13. Week 13 code files, customer, and run. Seems like something happening in customer.json. I have to have a look. Why not download from the core shell? Because I'm sure I tested this thing and it should work. Should go in here and download thing. Let's pause this thing. So I hope you understand how to import thing, because we already imported two different JSON file, example 2 and products, but for some reason this customer file giving us hard time. So you can watch the video how to import thing, and say for other files, for CSV, SQL file or JSON file, you'll go through the same way. Now, let's say importing CSV, and let's see how CSV behaves. Let's go import and CSV configure, and the file we have to select from my computer, and let's see this customer CSV here and try to run this one. Let's select here. Yeah. So it is taking, and you can see at the left corner, yeah, it's already 1000 document imported. And see here, this this customer.csv is important, right? Customer in collection 3. Customer.csv is important. Right. Okay. Let's go back to the slide. It is the import manager. We did this. Now exporting file. Okay. So let's export this customer. Let me find where is the customer. So this is a customer collection right here. Let's export this customer. So for exporting, we have to click on export button, and let's choose this JSON because these customers are in a MongoDB format, like document database format. So I'm choosing JSON, configuring here. So you have to choose the destination folder. So I'm choosing destination folder for now in my desktop. Let's see, to differentiate the file. Desktop, and this customers JSON, save. And it is coming from this advanced database, in the cloud, MongoDB cloud, and the customer. And now I have to click on export, right? And format options, it is coming this. So we are choosing the first option or keeping all those default. Let's run this. And it is asking me to continue. And you can look at it. And it is done. And let's go back to my this customer. So we are exporting it, and same way, if you click on the export, excuse me, export button, you can actually find let's go in a new tab. So export. Find query. I'm not doing this one. Now export, and you can see these options for entire collections, selected document, whatever. So let's go. I'm trying to import it again. The JSON file we exported. So let's see what is the problem with that JSON. And add source, and I save it in the desktop, right? This customer.json. Now it is saving in the target database in download. So let's click on run button. And yes, this time it is working. And in the download, you can see hopefully it is done. Yes, it is done now. See, this customer is here. So finally, you are able to download the import the customer.json file, but the file I provided looked like there is some error, but I tested in that time it was working. So let's go back to the slide 9. So now we know how to importing, like 3 things we already learned from this today's lecture.
In this highlights video, we'll be looking at Studio 3T's IntelliShell shell. In this highlights video, we'll be looking at Studio 3T's IntelliShell
That's not good.
shell. In this highlights video, we'll be looking at Studio 3T's IntelliShell, a powerful and smart auto-completing shell that makes working with the MongoDB command line a breeze. To begin, select the Customers collection from the connection tree. Then click the IntelliShell button in the global toolbar. A new IntelliShell tab will appear in the main window. Notice that IntelliShell's autocomplete has filled in the command, along with adding relevant brackets we'll need in the finished query. If we click the Run button, or alternatively the F5 key, we can execute our query. And in the Find Query tab below, we see our results. And thanks to IntelliShell's Query Assist, these results are displayed in an in-place editable table view. Let's just correct this wrong name here. And go back to the query. Typing Control Space here brings up the available field names. We'll select the address. Address is an embedded object, so let's type a period, and now we see the embedded fields. Let's select the state field. IntelliShell is smart enough to wrap that field reference in quotes. Notice the markers on the parentheses too. There's a syntax error we're being warned about. The reason is we've not completed our query. Let's type a colon and then Florida in quotes. The error markers vanish. And now we can click the Run button. And here's our results. But that's not all. IntelliShell can leverage the Studio 3T Visual Query Builder. Just click on Show Visual Query Builder and it automatically shows up, already populated with our current query. Now, let's drag a city entry from the table into the builder. And we now have a query for customers in Miami, Florida. Click Run. And again, we get our results with IntelliShell's powerful smart assistance and intelligent display. And it's all part of Studio 3T. Please see our other highlights videos on getting more from MongoDB with the power of Studio 3T. Thanks for watching.
Okay, so after watching this video, I believe you understand like how powerful is intelligent shell or IntelliShell. They're telling is IntelliShell for Studio 3T. So let's go back to the Studio 3T environment. And cancel. Let's choose customers and let's find this IntelliShell, right? And as soon as you click there, the way the video showed us, it is loading the data, I can see, right? So that's Query Assist. Let's put it on the top. And it is showing in a JSON view. If you can choose the tree view, it will showing in a tree view. I can see the mouse over, right? If you see the table view, Here you go. Now this thing is familiar to you, right? So you know, because we are familiar with relational databases, and here we can see all those columns here. First name, last name, email, date of birth, addresses, right? And the video also showed us that way. So here, if you click here, so control space bar, so all this thing came. And say the same way we can choose address, right? Then we can choose city. Let's choose state the same way. And if we now click here, now state state, we have to give a colon, I believe, right? No, we have to give state here. No, is Florida, right? We have to set Florida. So here, address. Let's go back to the video. Here, right.
A colon, and then Florida.
Okay, so colon should be after, right here, go there. It is not coming, right? Here. Okay, colon, we started, okay, I get it. There. Florida. Done here. All those address for fields.
Florida in quotes. The error markers vanish. And now we can click the Run button. And here's our results.
So the query is running, but we are not actually getting our desired output. It is showing 4 address fields, rather pulling up all those things. Let's go city and say yes. We have to go in the JSON file. For some reason, this JSON file is not behaving well. Let's go for products and discard products and IntelliShell. It's loading. IntelliShell. Student and click on IntelliShell. Okay, so table view. Now there are 30 elements. JSON view, you can see here. Say ID equal to 1. Say space ID should have this quotation mark. Let's run the query. In the table view, I can see only ID, but I'm asking to display ID equal to 1. It's showing some error. Let's go try with another one. It should work. Go in IntelliShell. And set table view. And if we go in JSON view, so it has let's copy this object ID. Control space ID. Okay. Go here. All right. Resume recording. And or maybe in post, that one we had, go in IntelliShell, let it load. Go in visual query. So it's post, let's add something here. And no, I don't need to add that many. I don't need to add that many. match or match, and can remove this one. Query is clear. So post, then we need to drop post one, and let's click on this query. And you can see this single post is visible now. So the visual query is for our post document database is working. Let's modify it to another. So clear, and we should see this and post drag. So we should go in tree view, table view, post. So we should go here and see all those full. We have to clear the query. Let's close this one, discard, and post, and click on IntelliShell. Now go in Visual Query Builder. Now let's pull the news kind category. Now let's run. And we can see all those news category is pulled. Okay, so at least for this post data, we are able to run this through this IntelliShell query, graphical drag and drop query. Now let's try to make it with query builder. So let's close this one, no, post and IntelliShell. Now try to write the query in text here. So let's find control spacebar and say we are trying to find category. Right. It should take as like this though. Category dot okay in EWS. This should work. Okay. Let's try with visual. So category and news. And if I run this, okay. Category, can drag here and discard. IntelliShell GUI. Nelson. Run. Okay. So for this one is for customers. The Nelson, see all the last name, this Nelson is working here. So finally, at least one is working. Okay, let's try another one. Let's go in visual. Let's find Nelson and an email address. Let's try this query. So it is actually trying to find the last name Nelson and email. And you can see this query segment here without the GUI. All right, good. At least it looks like some resume recording. Now, this one is very interesting. Migrating SQL Server to Mongo Cloud. So say you already have a server running that has databases for your relational databases. Now we have to upgrade it to a Mongo or cloud-based, whatever. So you need migration, and you can see this migration button here, and it has SQL to Mongo migration and Mongo to SQL migration. So I believe no one like to go back in Mongo, but it might be, say if someone like to downward the business, it go in SQL Server, so they can do this kind of migration, or like to take a backup. So let's choose the first one. So we choose here, you can see the SQL migration, and we clicked on SQL to Mongo migration, and you have to click on this Get Started button. Now there are two server is connecting here, right? One is your SQL server or whatever relational database server, and one is your Mongo. So you already know that our Mongo connection is here, right? So we already did this Mongo connection at the very beginning from this button. Now our job to connect to our SQL server. And for our SQL server, we'll be connecting XAMPP, right? So let me see if my XAMPP is running. So here is my XAMPP. And we know from here that localhost is our URL, right? And if you go new connection, you can name it here, whatever. And host is localhost. And your port number is this SQL port number. So in my case, it is 3307. And if I just test connect, its connection is okay, but I forget to give the username root and has no password. So let's test connect, and you can see all are okay. That means it is connected with my local server, that XAMPP. And I already did it. So for some reason, now, so let's connect this, right? Migration from SQL and add the source table. Now, say your SQL server, if I go back in my PHP admin, you can see how many databases I have. I may not migrate everything. I just run few or two or just one. So add source table. And you can see, interestingly, in all the tables and databases in my CPHP-MyAdmin, everything is here. DB1, DB2. Say for DB1, there are tables. I only migrate the assignment table. And if I click OK, see assignment table is here, and the target database is advanced DB, because I choose this advanced DB from here. Now your job is to click run migration. I click run migration, continue, and you can see at the left panel here it is showing, and you can see this assignment is already here. And this is a table view. If we go in JSON view, you can see all those things are here. So this is a magic happening from here. So you don't need to do coding or transfer. Although in our previous lab, I gave you a library SQL file and asked you to migrate manually. Now see how easy it is. You can just import that from your XAMPP. No coding, nothing. Just select connect to server and click on the migrate button. Okay, so let's go back to the slide, and I made a video for you so you can easily play this video and saw how to do that migration. Okay. So,
hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn how to connect a SQL server to migrate content, MySQL content or SQL content to Mongo Cloud Server.
Okay, so you can watch when you have time. I already demonstrated it how to do that, right? Good. Now, migration SQL Server to Mongo Cloud. So this is the official tutorial. I gave it just for clarity, but the video I created, that's simpler than their official video. But I added it just for safety. If you get confused with my one, then you can look at it one. Or if you are confused with the official one, you can go through my one. The next slide, you can see we are using trial version, but trial version is good enough for us because if the document, so number of rows, right, is up to 1000 per collection view. So you know view, so that's SQL thing. So if you like to import in the view, that cannot be more than 1000, or for a table, it cannot be more than 1000 if it is not view an actual table. So you can do trick one thing. If you have a very big, you can break that table in table 1, table 2, table 3 and merge it later, or you can buy a full version. But for learning, we do not have any table that has more than 1000 rows. So Studio 3T is good enough for our learning. Okay, so that's all about the Studio 3T. We do not have anything